Hi everyone. I'm not doing anything complicated today. I'm quite tired and I've been doing portraits all week. So I thought I'd do something fun today. And I'm just going to do rust effects and weathering effects. And this is stuff anyone can do, from beginners to intermediate to advanced. It's just fun to do. Hello, thanks for joining. So I'm just going to use the edge of my paper because it's nothing amazing. It's not a portrait or anything. I'm just using the edge of my paper to test my flow. So for anything rust effect, you're basically using browns, oranges, yellows on top of whatever you've painted, which should be like a metal base. But you could also add in some greens and some reds, because you get all sorts of colours in rust. And basically you just want to build up areas which are discoloured, and it tends to be around rivets, around joins, anywhere which weather would get to it. And remember gravity. So I'm just starting with a dark brown colour. I'm not after anything too uniformed. So this area here is going to be corroded away. So there's going to be quite a lot of discoloration around the edges of it. Bring this a bit closer, I think. Hope that's better. You can see a bit better. So yeah, discoloration around the edges. I'm just starting my darkest colour to start with. And around the rivets, I think they always collect water, and then the water would run off them. So you tend to get a rusted effect underneath them. I'm also going to make the airbrush rusty as well. So basically anything which is a join or an area which metal connects. And you can also put rust effects onto painted signs as well. So I started this one, haven't really finished it, so I'll put the finishing touches to it as well as the rust. And it's really up to you how worn and affected you make the stuff you're painting. If you want it to look like it's been there for hundreds of years, you can make it almost all rusty. If you want it to just be a little bit rusty in places, you can just ease off on some of the marks you make. So as well as freehand, you can also use some stuff you've got lying around to help make the effect. So this is a really good one. This is one of the sanding pads, and if you tear that up, you kind of get holes in it. You spray through it, it leaves a really mottled effect. It just helps build up some texture. Those rusty things have a lot more texture than smooth metal. Another thing is like fabric, which has holes in it. That works similar. So I've got the background in, it looks really flat, so it needs to build up colours now. And put some orange in. So I'm not going for bright orange, I'm mixing it in with the brown I've already got in here. So I've got some really light orange in there now. So there was a bit of orange left over from the second layer I put on. I've just mixed it in with some white to make it really light, just so I can get some highlights in. So we're going to move on to some bright yellow now. Obviously, you don't really see bright yellow in rust, but because I've laid down the darker colours first, it's not going to look as bright over the top. There's not really much point me adding much yellow to this sign because it was bright yellow to start with. I'm not going to see it. So I'm going back to the brown colour now. I'm going to make up like a really reddy brown colour. There we go. That's a really dark, reddy brown colour. So what inspired me to paint this style? I've been seeing a lot of the Fallout stuff on the internet, and that's all kind of nuclear apocalyptic war. Everything's rusted. I just love anything like this. When things start to age, they've got a really cool effect. You get to see all the textures and all the decay. It just looks really cool. So I'm putting some darker colours around the edges to define it, but also doing little dots in my other colours. So in the yellowy, the orange and the brown colour. Just also putting some of the dark reddy brown colour in as well. Making some of the edges quite jaggedy as well, because if something's rusted, it doesn't have nice clean sharp edges. So anywhere where things would connect, it'd get rusty. And you collect it and also get rusty. What you painted is a real object. I want to bring some brighter colours back in again, so I'm going to use a white first, just to give myself a base for the lighter colour. Hi Ian. Doing really simple stuff today. Got a rust effect going on. Yeah, simple's good. Simple's really fun as well. These effects, I like doing stuff like this. I'm quite tired today, so stuff like this is really, it's really handy to do because it's not difficult, but it looks so effective. And everybody does these effects different ways as well, so it's cool to kind of see different ways different people do these. I haven't watched the new Fallout series, seen some of the games, but not seen the series. But I've heard a lot of it, and because I like doing stuff like this, I thought, oh, I've got to give it a go. Has anyone else watched the new Fallout series? Is it worth a watch? Any good? Is it as good as the games? So with the sign, which had the yellow paint on it, I'm just because as things rust, they also lose the colour of the paint. So I'm back in with the red colour on some of the brighter areas I've made. Colours for the rust. So I'm using a few colours. I've got a dark brown, quite a bright orange, and a red. And not those colours. I just kind of layer them up, and I'll use white in between to just add a new base. So if I put like a dark brown down, when that's dried, I'll add in a white, and then I'll go over the top of that. So it's just building up lots of layers to try and get the texture in. But yeah, rust is most of the time it's like a browny orangey colour, so you can't go wrong with browns and oranges and a bit yellow, a bit red. And also, like I was using before, this great for some texture as well. I never really use exact colours. Whatever I'm doing, I always mix up my colours. I tend to mix them in the cup as well, so I never have like the same colour twice. So I tend to do most things freehand, but for effects like this, I will kind of get out the stencils or like just bits of fabric, bits which I find lying around. I have a box actually. Which has like lots of random stuff like this in, which is good to build up textures. Because you can sit there forever kind of like doing little dots with an airbrush and building up textures. Or spray through something which has got a texture. Makes it a bit quicker. Yeah, there's all sorts you can find as a stencil. I love spraying through this. This stuff's that like sanding pads, and when they get old, you just kind of rip them in half and pull bits off them. I do clouds with that. I do rust effect with that. Just anything which needs like a mottly kind of effect to it works brilliant. Got this stuff as well. It's like a net. Yeah, there's all sorts. Just kind of find it lying around. I'm like, oh, I'll keep that. And go in my airbrush box. Not very good at using like normal stencils. So it takes a lot of kind of effort to put them in place and hold them in place. So I tend to not bother with stencils much. If I can freehand it, I'll freehand it. But they definitely have their uses, and if you can get used to using them as well, it's really good. Opens up lots of kind of opportunities for stuff you can do with an airbrush. Speeds things up a bit as well. Yeah, keep loads of random stuff. I've been doing rivets today with these things. So they're like sticky dots, like that. And they're awesome for rivets. So if you want to put a rivet on something, put I don't know, a rusty rivet right down here. Spray through it. And then with rivets, I tend to put dark colour at the top. Got a dark colour in there. a dark colour at the top, and I get one of these dots, and then when that's dry, I cover it up with a dot, and spray a dark colour underneath. And pull the dot off, and I've got a cool ribbon. So yeah, I've kept loads of these. They came with like a stationery set. It was awesome. So whenever you get rust, you kind of get runs with the rust. And one of the good things to be able to do is do dagger strokes, or at least have like the ability to get a point on a line. So that when you put the rust runs in, you've got a nice kind of pointed finish at the end of them. If it's not been mentioned, I am the world's clumsiest artist, and lining my paints up in front of my my wastewater is probably not the best idea. So I'm going to go for some highlights now. Not going to do these in bright white. So I'm going to tone down the white with a yellow colour, I think. Maybe an orange. I don't think I actually do dagger strokes. I know they say practice dagger strokes, but I think I just do lines with a point on, because I think a dagger stroke's more like you start off quite wide at the top, don't you? And then the colour's not working very well, but yeah, and come down to a point. Whereas I tend to just do little lines with a little flick off the end. It's probably how I paint most of my stuff. But I do practice them a lot, even if they're not correct. And I literally go through pages of the stuff. So, in fact, when I'm painting something, I've probably got more pages of lines than I have anything else. I'm not liking that colour, it's not working properly. And that's one of the good reasons for practicing lines as well at the side of the page. If you have any issues with a colour not working, it doesn't spray straight onto your work. I think there must have been something in that paint then. Try again mixing the colour up. That's slightly better. So I'm just putting some highlights through the rust, because even though it's rusty and it's not shiny, it is textured, and you do get areas which are lighter and areas which are darker. So it just helps make the effect look a bit more real. I'm just doing little dots. I think I was doing a bigger piece which had a lot more rust in it. I'd be using some of the things I spray through for texture, but I just don't want too much light areas. So everything's got a little bit of rust on it now. I'm like really tempted just to paint the airbrush completely rusty. Like no silver left on it at all. So this type of effect, it's just like up to you how much rust you put into things. I think if you do something like the airbrush where you make it more rusted, have some more of the reddy colour and browny colour in there. It is a really fun effect. It's really easy as well. I'm pretty sure anyone can do this. So. If any beginners find this video in future and they're looking through for effects to do, this is like one of the ones you can do straight away. And if you're not a beginner and you've been painting too many portraits all week and you're really tired, this is a really good fun effect as well. So the airbrush, there isn't any real drips on it because there's no kind of gravity pulling it down. It's cylindrical. So I'm just kind of building up patches of colour rather than drips on the airbrush. And anywhere there's a join, just making that look like it's more rusted through than normal. And that works well if you're painting pipes or anything like that. So rust effects go well if you're painting anything which is like an abandoned building or apocalyptic. Also, I suppose like even like sci-fi stuff. you can make something look old, really worn. So yeah, it's just build up layers. That's it really. Probably not much more I can do to this. So the quiz on how many times I want to drop a paint up on the floor to this. I use this effect quite a lot when I'm doing painted quite a few steampunky pieces, and yeah, doing rust just really adds to those. I'm going to do probably some point next week a big scene to do with Fallout, so all the retro 50s, and then obviously just put like all the rust and all the grime and all the dust and everything all over the scene afterwards. Yeah, I've kind of been testing out some kind of designs and things. So I think I'm going to go for like either a diner or a 50s style kitchen, and then just going to add in like all the rust, probably some broken windows, and probably some of the stuff from Fallout as well. Just make it a bit more iconic. So yeah, all these kind of techniques I'm going to be using in that piece. But it's probably going to take me like 2 or 3 days to draw out the background image before I even start putting the rust on. Yeah, I think a diner's probably the way I'll go, because there's loads of stuff you can put in a diner. There's all sorts. Don't know why the rusty airbrush looks really cool, but I really like the look of that. I want a steampunk airbrush now. Yeah, I think anything which looks like it's steampunk, rusty, but then like functional, is really cool. I can imagine like a proper airbrush all steampunked up. It'd be really cool. Yeah, I'm not too sure a rusty airbrush would go down too well. It'd be cool though. Looks like it shouldn't work, but it does. I know some of the airbrush companies do make like special edition ones, but I've never seen like a steampunk one. And I use the Badger airbrush. I've not really seen any of their special editions. Oh yeah, they have. They've got the gold Sotar at the moment. I don't know of any other special edition Badger airbrushes. But yeah, they've got the gold Sotar at the moment. That's pretty cool. Too shiny to be steampunk though. Right, so I think the only other thing I'm going to try and do is make the yellow of this pin on this sign peel. So it looks like a peel effect. I did have plans to do like the whole Fallout diner thing today, but yeah, I think I'll leave that till next week. So these are like the effects I'm going to use in that, and then I'll do yeah, the apocalyptic diner next week with these same effects really. Kind of get like almost a scaly, so I'm presuming it's going to work really well for the peeling paint as well. So those bits are going to be like the shadows underneath the peeling paint. So the paint effect, the peeling paint effect I was going for, didn't really work amazingly well. I think the piece is too small, really. So I've just gone back over it with some orange paint, blends into the rust effect now. But yeah, probably do a bit here actually of what peeling paint would look like. Peeling paint, you just want like lots of jagged edges, and the corners tend to peel up as well. So. So yeah, peeling paint and crumbling walls and anything like that, it's all kind of the same effect. You just want like random lines and little bits which kind of peel up. With some shadows underneath. So yeah, it's kind of like that, but just condensed down, a lot smaller. I suppose you could do it that size if you're doing like a massive wall mural. I think I'll leave that there then today. So yeah, this is like the rust effect. This is what I'm going to use in the effects for the Fallout artwork I'm going to do, and I'll start that next week. So next Friday's live, I'll have a diner or kitchen scene from the 50s set out, and then I'll put all this rust effect on it and kind of make it apocalyptic in the live. So yeah, hopefully see everyone next week. And thanks again for joining. It's really cool actually to do lives and have everybody kind of like pop in and out and say hi. So yeah, see you all.